So let's talk about Family Bank in Kenya. They're making a huge move, a really bold one, listing on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And listen, this is way more than just about stocks and shares. It's really the final act in a massive comeback story. And it's the kickoff for a super ambitious plan to join the country's banking A-list.
And that brings us to the big question, right? How does a bank go from a billion-shilling loss to directly challenging Kenya's banking giants? I mean, just a few years back, Family Bank was seriously in trouble, deep in the red. Now, they're aiming for the very top. So how on earth did they pull that off? And is this whole ambition even realistic? We're going to break it all down. The recovery, the new strategy, and the huge goal they've set for themselves.
Okay, so first things first, the big news. After all these years of rebuilding and getting their house in order, Family Bank is officially heading for the public market. This move, it really signals a whole new chapter for them, one filled with confidence and some serious ambition. And this isn't just talk. The plan is locked in. They've already got the shareholder approval that happened back in October 2025. So now they're targeting 2026 to list on the NSE. Of course, they're still waiting on that final regulatory green light, but it's pretty much a go. And what's interesting is the way they're choosing to do it. Yeah, they're doing something called a listing by introduction. So what in the world does that mean? Well, to put it simply, they're not creating a bunch of new shares for a big IPO. Nope. Instead, they're just taking their existing shares, all 1.3 billion of them, and making them available to trade on the stock exchange. So the goal right now isn't to raise a ton of new cash. It's more about giving current shareholders a way to trade their shares easily and, boosting the bank's public profile in a big way. Now, to really get why this listing is such a huge deal, we've got to rewind the clock a bit. You see, this whole ambitious plan is built on what is honestly one of the most impressive comeback stories we've seen in Kenyan banking for a long, long time. Just look at this. The contrast is absolutely night and day. In 2017, the bank completely hit rock bottom. We're talking a staggering loss of over 1 billion Kenya shillings. Now you fast forward to 2024, and the picture could not be more different. A record profit of almost 3.5 billion shillings. Think about that. That's a total turnaround of more than 4.4 billion shillings. So the question is, how did they pull that off?
And you know what? This wasn't just a flash in the pan, some lucky year. Look at the trend. After that massive loss in 2017, they managed to claw their way back, posting a small profit in 2018. And from there, the growth just became super consistent. They broke that billion-shilling profit mark in 2020 and then just kept hitting the accelerator. It's this steady climb that built the foundation for everything that's happening now.
So what is that next big move? Well, it all comes down to a super focused 5-year strategy. And this isn't some fluffy, vague mission statement you'd see on a poster. No, this is a detailed blueprint for growth that they're convinced is going to catapult them into a whole new league. At its core, the plan is actually pretty simple. It's all about biashara. Now, for those who don't know, biashara is the Swahili word for business. And that's exactly what Family Bank is doing. They're doubling down on becoming the #1 bank for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and for everyday retail customers all across Kenya. They're making a play to completely own that space. So how are they going to do it? Well, their strategy is built on 3 main pillars. Pillar number 1 is all about the customer. We're talking specialized products for SMEs, for agriculture, and for businesses led by women and young people. Pillar 2 is all about productivity and efficiency, automating processes, making their branch network smarter to cut costs. And Pillar 3, and this one is absolutely crucial, is a massive push into digital and data. They're planning to use things like AI and machine learning to really personalize their services and improve the whole customer experience. And look, they're not just talking a big game, they are seriously putting their money where their mouth is. They are investing 1 billion shillings over 27 months to completely overhaul their core banking system. And let's be clear, this isn't just a small software update. This is a top-to-bottom modernization designed to make them faster, more agile, and totally ready for the future of digital finance. The board chairman, Lazarus Muma, he put it really well. He said the focus is all about creating real value for customers. So it's not just about handling transactions anymore. It's about becoming a partner that these businesses can't live without, someone who's essential to their growth. And it's that focus they believe is going to fuel their biggest ambition yet. And here it is, this incredible turnaround, this detailed strategic plan. It's all leading up to one massive, audacious goal: to break into the exclusive club of Tier 1 banks in Kenya. So, what exactly is a Tier 1 bank? Think of it as the big leagues. It's a special classification from the Central Bank of Kenya for the biggest and most important banks in the country. We're talking about a small group of banks that, together, control over 75% of the entire market. If you can get into this group, it means you've officially made it. But let's be real, the challenge here is absolutely immense. You've got the giants, like KCB and Equity, with assets somewhere around 2 trillion shillings. That's a mind-boggling number. And even the, quote, smaller Tier 1 banks like DTB have assets that are almost double Family Bank's current $204 billion. So yeah, the gap they have to close it's significant. I mean, just look at this chart. The size difference is just dramatic. That first bar, that's Family Bank. The bar right next to it, that's the smallest Tier 1 bank they need to catch up to. And that giant bar on the far right, well, that's the mountain they ultimately want to climb. So, do they really have what it takes to make that ascent?
Well, they actually do have some powerful advantages in their corner. For one, their asset growth is actually outpacing a lot of the bigger players. Their laser focus on SMEs and agribusiness gives them a real competitive edge. Plus, don't forget, they have the 8th largest branch network in the country, a solid customer base of over 1.2 million people, and a proven track record with digital stuff like their Pesapap platform. These are the engines they're hoping will power their climb.
Okay, so let's recap. We've seen the incredible comeback, we've looked at the strategy, and we understand the massive goal. Now it's time to connect all the dots and see exactly why this stock market listing is the critical piece that brings it all together. Because this listing, it's not the finish line, not at all. It's a strategic tool designed to hit the accelerator on their whole plan. It gives current shareholders liquidity, it boosts the bank's visibility big time, and crucially, it opens the door for raising more capital down the road for really big moves, like expanding into the rest of East Africa. It's really the essential public step they need to take to fuel that massive journey towards becoming a Tier 1 bank by 2029. And so, that brings us to the final lingering question. There's no doubt the bank has pulled off an amazing recovery. They have a clear, well-funded strategy, but the mountain is incredibly high and the competition at the top is fierce. So, have they actually built a ladder that's strong enough to make that climb? Well, that is exactly what the entire market is going to be watching very, very closely over the next few years.